Hi everybody, welcome to the show. I'm AminaMotala and I'm here in Miami, Florida at the Decentral Miami Conference. And this is a DeFi and NFT conference, and I found myself a great NFT creator. And let's just start by, how about you introducing yourself and talk a little bit about who you are.
All right, my name's Jeremy Ryan. My artist name is NFTDEMON. My website is NFTDEMON.ART. And basically, I'm the largest artist in all of the Binance Smart Chain. So I took over the Binance Smart Chain by doing generative collections. So 10,000, most of them are, 4 of my collections are 10,000 NFTs. One is 5,555. Regardless, very large collections. And now I'm just expanding that. And I'm going to be the first artist on Bitcoin Latinum, and I'm trying to work with other blockchains on doing official stuff, and also with celebrities on doing collections.
Yes, so we'll talk about that in a minute. So, well, what we can talk about. So let's just back it up a little bit. So Binance Smart Chain. So Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. And can you just elaborate a little bit about what that means, what you're doing?
Yeah, and so the Binance Smart Chain is this the chain for the smart contracts within the Binance system. The price of Binance Smart Chain is always the same as the price of BNB, which is Binance Coin. And Binance Coin is the official coin of the Binance marketplace. So all of those transactions are utilizing Binance Coin in their transaction. But NFTs are rather new to the Binance Smart Chain. So Binance BSC is better known for shit coins and meme coins, basically, tokens, and a lot of those are scams. Ethereum has a lot of scams too, not quite as many as Binance Smart Chains when it comes to tokens. But the interesting part is that the NFTs are more secure on Binance. And so there's no way to scam the NFTs at this point on the Binance Smart Chain, whereas on Solana and I believe Ethereum, you can dust people's wallets through minting engines. I know Solana is becoming a whole lot more popular, where people are just losing everything by minting an NFT.
Okay, so again, I'm going to stop you there. We're going to back it up a little again, because it is such a new ecosystem for a lot of my viewers, and you know, it's I'm sure they're saying, what are you talking about? So NFT is a non-fungible token, and you're going to hear more and more about NFTs in the world. And let's give a little definition of NFT. What would be your way of describing what an NFT is?
Basically, it's a digital, in the base structure, it's a digital signature to verify ownership of an item, or any item. Now, in the practical sense, in the way that I'm doing it, they're digital collectibles, they're art. But NFTs could potentially represent house deeds. They could represent physical goods. You can buy, downstairs, there's a place where you can buy a Rolex and you get the NFT of the same Rolex. And so NFTs don't necessarily have to be art or collectibles, but in the most popular, most commonly known sense, it's the art/collectible/metaverse world that the NFTs are best known for. But within NFTs, there's going to be a whole lot more applications as time goes on. I'm not going to focus on that. My whole thing is generative collections, which is digital collectibles, digital art. And that's going to be my focus. But you are going to see innovations where NFTs are used in ways that have nothing to do with art, have nothing to do with collectibles, have nothing to do with the metaverse, have nothing to do with gaming. You know, anything that you're thinking of now, it's just completely and entirely different. You know, kind of like the blockchain has a million different uses now. You know, but when Bitcoin first came out, there wasn't, you know, really much of anything. Even in the Silk Road days, there weren't a whole lot of use cases for the blockchain still. You know, the use case for Bitcoin was to buy drugs, you know, off the dark web, but that was really the only use case in the beginning there. And all of these other implementations that have been made on the blockchain since then didn't exist. You know, they may have been ideas, but they didn't exist. Now all sorts of stuff runs through the blockchain, and there's all sorts of stuff that you don't even know is running through the blockchain that's running through the blockchain, like credit card transactions. Some of that data is going through the blockchain now. You know, and you swipe your card and you never even know that it has anything to do with the blockchain.
Yeah, and for anyone who's still trying to understand what blockchain is, it's basically a ledger system that just keeps everything on a permanent record that's transparent, right? And
Yeah,
immutable.
And so there's no question. But you have to be careful with smart contracts to understand what's in it, because while there's no question what you agreed to, that may not be what you thought you were agreeing to. So that's what you're seeing with crypto scams, is that like they're building the smart contracts with some sort of malicious provision. Well, you still agreed to that, and so that's why it's really hard to prosecute some of these things, because you still agreed to that contract. You just didn't read it.
Correct.
Or know how to read it, because you know most people don't know how to read these things, and really wouldn't. I mean, it is all code.
And to have these NFTs, like you say, you know, it's the ownership to whatever it is, that product or art or collectible. It's authenticating that you are the true owner of that, which changes a lot of how the structure is in ownership in the old world, let's say.
It also authenticates who the true artist was too.
Correct.
Because, and I had this issue. I had launched, my second collection was Badass Doggos, and another collection had claimed that, so the technical person had handed over the files to another collection. Another collection had claimed that, you know, it was theirs, but they launched a week later. So, you know, obviously in the blockchain, it's easy to tell. Cartel punks, someone just duplicated my collection and relaunched it 2 months after we minted out. So, you know, but, you know, because it's easy to do that. They're just JPEGs. Like, you can download every JPEG and all of the metadata on any collection, but the blockchain allows you to know which one was first.
Right.
You know, because you cannot have two firsts. You know, one of them came out first, and that's always going to be legitimate ones. But there are all sorts of people that'll try to copy projects. So when you're on secondary markets buying them, I wouldn't worry so much about a minting website, because these projects don't really have the type of money to, you know, get to that many people that would really be minting them. But certainly when you're on secondary markets, you have to verify that it's the legitimate collection, you know, that it's the verified collection that you're buying and not some other contract.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what you have done and what you're doing, and lead us into, you know, where you're going.
Sounds good. Yeah, it started off with Cartel Punks, which was my first collection. After the massive success, obviously, of Crypto Punks and a lot of different punks collections, I wanted to do something a little bit different than what I was seeing. Most of the punks collections I was seeing were just the original Crypto Punks, but with a filter thrown on them. And so, you know, it was basically just a copy of the original thing. I wanted to do a pixel art, so punk-based collection that was new characters, you know, not just a copy of the old. And so I came up with Cartel Punks, because I thought it was a good idea and I thought it would sell really well, and it did. It minted out in 2 weeks. And then after that, I came out with Badass Doggos, which was more fine detail type of art. And that is a very, it is a collection that people are buying more for the art than just the collectible or the fun value of it. And then Badass Doggos is still minting. And then I created a third collection for Zombie B&B, which was a token that never took off, and then the dev ended up leaving, so that collection is unfortunately dead. My fourth collection was for Baby Floki Doge, which is a token. They're building an ETH bridge, and once they build that ETH bridge, I believe the token is going to skyrocket, and the NFTs are just going to go crazy, because you'll have all those ETH buyers starting to realize that BSC is a whole lot cheaper. And so what BSC basically is it's a clone of Ethereum, but cheaper and faster. So what they did was they cloned Ethereum but made it cheaper and faster, and that's what Binance did. But once that bridge is built, I think that one's gonna go. And then 3 days ago, I launched another one called Catboy NFTs, and Catboy NFTs are over 20% minted in 3-4 days, and half of that I've been here. So those are moving pretty well. And then, so now my next move is I'll be launching the first collection on Bitcoin Latinum, and maybe the first generative collection on Cadena, I'm not sure. But there seemed to be a little bit of interest there. And I'm working on trying to get some celebrities to do generative collections. So I was meeting with some music producers yesterday, some really big names, and they represent very big names. And so
they really do.
about how we can do generative collections, both for celebrities and for celebrity corporation partnerships. So, you know, like if Pepsi is partnering with, say, Beyonce, you could do a collection. And I mean, these aren't people that are talking about hiring me or anything, but you could do a collect. But that is something that has a partnership from the past, you know, a recent partnership Pepsi's done, and you could do a Pepsi Beyonce NFT collection where everything is Pepsi, and then, you know, it's her. You got different stages as the background. She's sang at different outfits, and then you could give those NFTs out for free as a, you know, reward for a giveaway. I think about
incentivizing your customer.
Just like other giveaways you do. You know, it's just another thing, a new innovative thing to give away. So there's many different ways it could go, you know, in the celebrity aspect. It could go, the celebrity launches their collection themselves, you know, without any other influence, or it could go corporate partnership. But I think that that's a big next step for NFTs, because really all you have, Lil Yachty did a collection, it sold out in like 10 minutes. You have Snoop Dogg and Death Row Records that did their collections on Crow, but that's it for celebrities doing NFT collections. So, they've all been wildly successful. Now you have to have a big name. You can't have like some small name celebrity and expect it to mint out in 10 minutes. But the type of people that I'm talking about would be very big names.
And they're leading in this because it is so new, and what more than a great artist out there that can really benefit from something like this, right? Where their stuff isn't pirated and so on. And that leaves, you know, they're leading so that the smaller artists have, you know, catch on to this, and this grows, because this is going to be quite a game changer for the art industry, let alone, of course, a lot of the other industries.
And that's what I want to do, is I want to take over the NFT market so that I can then empower little known artists. I can empower the people that were me 2 months ago, but that may not have ever been able to make any sort of connections, you know, just by my name, collaborating with them, you know, and, you know, maybe I just make the special trades, you know, the really special legendaries, and they make the other ones, you know. So we work together in some sort of way and collaborate, and so we can actually uplift other people as well through your name, and so I think that's very realistic within the next, you know, several months.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we really look forward to seeing what you're gonna, you know, who you're gonna collaborate with, which I do have an idea, but I can't talk about it.
I look forward to seeing that too, because I don't know for sure yet.
True.
You know, there's nothing set in stone, and there hasn't been even anything like, hey, this person is who I'm really thinking about from the people that I've been talking to. But the idea is planted and pretty well secured, you know, and so I think it's gonna come about pretty soon.
That's awesome.
In summer.
Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best with all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And yeah, so that's a little inside to some of the NFT space, and having heard it from an artist in this industry that you're going to hear a lot more about in the future. And we are really in the cutting edge of the pioneer stages of all of this. So just thought I'd bring in a little more info to all of you out there. So continue to learn and educate. Don't be afraid. This is really, you know, something that we can grasp, and we can empower ourselves with this type of technology. And
feel free to come into our telegrams. NFTDEMON.ART is my website. You can see all my collections, and you can see the telegram groups. So feel free to come in and ask whatever questions you want. You know, the only stupid question is the one that you wish you would have asked 5 years later.
True.
You know, there's so many, like, say Bitcoin, for instance. I knew about Bitcoin, like, day one, but I never asked any questions. I thought it was just, I didn't know much about it. I just thought it was a joke. And so I bought $10 worth of Bitcoin, but I never secured that. And so that's just sitting and will never be recovered again. But $10 back then would have been millions upon, maybe even over $1 billion now, because I had to have had over 10,000 Bitcoin. You know, like this was like
wow.
way early when like
wow.
you know, $1 could get you like 1,000
right.
or more.
I remember that.
You know, and so yeah, I really wish I would have kept that wallet. But I just thought it was a joke. I bought it the same reason some people buy meme coins, you know,
right.
as a joke. Or some NFTs people even buy as a joke. You know, some NFTs are just, you know, supposed to be a joke. But yeah, so you know, that was the probably the worst financial decision I ever made, was not securing and protecting that.
Is it
wallet.
really a financial decision when you're not completely well informed?
Yeah, well, and back then it was definitely not considered a financial decision.
Right.
Like Bitcoin wasn't considered anything back then. Everybody considered it a joke. You know, I think a lot of the people that are really rich now, while they say it's because they stuck in, I don't think it's because they stuck in. I think it's just because they recovered what they had, you know, after it had gone so far high up.
That's right.
Because once you hit a certain point, everyone's going to sell, you know, and you know what, whether that point be 1,000x or 10,000x, the people who were in Bitcoin in the beginning hit that point, you know, quite a while ago. So,
yeah, exactly.
you know, everyone's going to sell at a certain point, unless you know, now it doesn't make sense to sell all of it. But I don't think there's many people at all, if any, that got in Bitcoin in the beginning and consciously knew about and knew where all their funds were the whole time and held until now. You know?
So true.
I don't think so. I think there's some people that refound their Bitcoin years later, and by that point it was 20,000-30,000. So now they're holding, you know, most of it, because now you can sell one or two. But I think they probably also would have sold at $3-4 too.
True.
You know,
yeah.
if they had,
like,
they had
I
it
doubled
at
and
that time.
tripled my money.
Well, it was way more than doubling and tripling.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
even
no,
at
for sure,
$3-4, you know, from when you can get 10,000 for $1 or whatever it was. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know?
Too fun. The stories that we can continue to say, right?
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. It was really quite a pleasure to do this today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.